he's in there with his bill, and I think it was girl Terry Lynn Weaver. She goes, somebody said, "Boy, you look rough," to this guy, because he had been beat down with lobbyists, and he's fighting this bill and trying to get it passed, and I was for it, but boy, you got them powerful lobbyists work against you. It does get you kind of down, and somebody said, "Man, you looking rough." And then Terry Lynn Weaver goes, "No, that's just his normal look." Like that. I couldn't help but get tickled. He did. Every time I see him, I'm like, "Hey, man, I got some school bus legislation for you." And he was like, "I'm going to get you, Sparks." But, the media never tells you that story. $52 million is what Extend the Life of the School Bus did to help not only bus drivers and the owners and the taxpayers, because, those buses are expensive. But you'll never hear that in the media because it's not controversial enough. That's where the media is at today. But Karen Hudson with the Rutherford
County Republican Women.
Okay. And I wanted you to come up here. I know you've got a couple things coming up the next few weeks. Y'all do at the headquarters, don't you?
We do. Friday, June 14th, is Flag Day.
Yes, ma'am.
As we know. It also happens to be former President Trump's birthday.
Oh, really?
So from 10 to 2, we will have people there with a big birthday cake. So
wow.
Come have a piece of cake.
And you still got, Trump's going to be there, isn't he?
We've got the big cutout.
Yeah.
So you can have your picture made with the Trump cutout. But we've got the big you can have birthday cake, and we've got small flags to give out. So we're celebrating the former president's birthday and Flag Day.
All right.
So that's on Friday. And then our next meeting is June 18th, which is the following Tuesday. So this is Friday the 14th. That's right. And Tuesday the 18th, we have a gal, Ava Jolly. She just finished her freshman year at Hillsdale College.
Oh, wow.
So she's going to come talk to us. And, we're reaching out to the young Republicans.
Well, we need to.
And getting them involved. And she, in fact, I just got an email from her that I haven't responded to yet. She said, "Do you need 15, 20 minutes? I don't want to go too long. I'm so excited. I could talk for hours about Hillsdale." So it sounds like she's super excited.
Yeah.
And then, of course, as you know, the county party is having their annual fundraiser, Reagan Day dinner.
Yep.
And that's,
Mark Green's coming in.
Right, June 28th.
I know Max has been working it really, really hard.
Yep, and that's going to be at Copper Ridge.
Yeah.
And
where is that? I've heard of it. Where is
that? Is off of Betty Ford Road.
Okay.
So off of Compton and Betty Ford Road. David Lynn, he owns it.
Oh,
so
okay.
That'll be out there. It's always a good time. It's the annual fundraiser. It's $150 a ticket.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to get a ticket, just call
the headquarters, leave a message.
You know the number over there?
I don't, but I will look it up.
Yeah, I'm sorry I put you on the spot like that. One thing that I'm not saying I'm upset with the party. I mean, I do get upset with the Republican Party. I think we can do a better job of outreach and reaching minorities, reaching Latinos, reaching African Americans, reaching women, and because most people, if you get down to it, they believe in the conservative principles. They believe in life. I was at a pro-life event yesterday. Senator Don White and I were, and sadly there really wasn't a lot of people there. Just kind of sad, and it's just I watch the country kind of, what's the word, digress. What's a good word to talk about where this country's at today? I mean, other than use profanity.
I don't know.
It's going to Hades in a handbasket. I don't.
Well, I got a lot of hope. I mean, I think if you come to some of our meetings, there's a lot of energy in our group.
I know,
so I'm excited about that.
I mean, I'm not being.
I know.
I just see the reality of,
Well, we've got an election coming up August 1st, and traditionally we haven't had very good turnouts. So there's some voter apathy. So we're hoping to increase that.
Well, that's what the Secretary of State, Troy Hargett, was the end of the day. Latinos for Tennessee, Joshua Rosales and hats off to Joshua if he's listening. Him and others organized an event. Man, they had a lot of young African Americans there, females, males, Latinos. I met a dude. I don't know if I told Roger this. Roger Thomas, Sam Davis Holmes, is going to join us here too, and this guy's name, let me see. I don't know how you pronounce this name. Met this guy there. Roger, how do you say that name? Hey, Roy, how do you say that name?
Roy Catalino.
He's from Costa Rica.
Yeah.
And
I'm close.
And I told him, I said, hey man, my friend that I sold a Porsche to 9-11 years ago, his name was Marco Ramallo. He goes, man, that sounds familiar. Not that everybody in Costa Rica knows everybody, But I was like, well, maybe there's a chance he knows him. And he said, man, does his parents own some movie theaters? And I think this has been 20 years ago. It's a little Porsche Orange 73 I sold 9/11 years ago, and he flew up here and we put on a shipping, what do you call it, like a shipping container thing, and they delivered it down there. But he invited me to come down, but he says, I haven't talked to him since I sold him the car. And the guy says, I think it's not Romalo, it's like the way he said it was different. And he pulled up, he said, man, is that him? I said, I think that's the guy. And so he took a picture of me and him, and I said, man, that'd be so cool. Because the guy told me, he said, man, if you ever want to come to Costa Rica, I got a hacienda, is that how you say it? With another area, another room. And but he told me he's going to take that little Porsche, and it was going to be frame off restoration and go through it. I sold that little car for $3,200. You know, and that one guy I want to get on the radio with Front Street Sounds. What's that guy's name? Front Street Sounds.
I don't know, but I'm gonna go down there.
Is it Caleb?
Talk to him.
Caleb?
No, Caleb. He owns the Print Shop restaurant. That's who you're thinking about.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
But that guy remembers that little. I had a '66 Mercedes SL 230.
How old did the guy seem to be?
He was young. The guy that owns Front Street, young guy.
Okay. I'm gonna run by there and
because he's restoring a '70. I think Mercedes 260 L, a little convertible that I think it belonged to the prior owner there, you know, and it's got it down there at that shop on Front Street, the new shop.
Yeah. And
I met that guy. I can't think of his name, but I guess he buys and sells classic cars and restores them and all.
But I'll run by. I'm gonna go run by or drop by. Surprise, drop by.
Yeah. But I'd love to have them two guys on if you help me.
Yeah.
But Karen, I was really impressed with Joshua.
Well, he was our speaker in April. He was our speaker at the Republican Women in April. Yep.
Yeah. Well, you know, the demographics of our country is changing, you know, and we got to be ready to adapt and ready to change. I mean, you know, they're seeing a lot of things change in this world.
Well, the Republican Party has room for them. We got a big tent.
Yeah. Well, we just got to make sure that sometimes I feel like people don't feel welcome. I mean, like.
We have a lot in common.
Welcome. A lot of people view Republicans as country clubbers.
Well,
I'm just being straight up. You know?
I think that's sort of changed. I think it's kind of switched to the other. I think it's switched the other way, to be honest.
Exactly.
But really, I think that's why I think our group is very approachable, and I think people just give us a chance.
Exactly.
And when they come, you know, like we've had some speakers, all varied speakers, like we had Josh. We had Stevie Giorno, who is the state chair of the Tennessee Young Republicans.
Yeah, good young man. And then Parker, what's Parker's? Is it Molitor? Is that his name?
Yes.
I think he was either chairman or former chairman.
Well, the chairman right now is Dre Curtis, and so he came.
That's right.
So yeah. So
he's the one that helped with the fundraiser for Dr. Sullivan's son Asher.
I'm not aware of that.
Put that. I think he put that together. You know, I mean, I knew several people that donated. You know, but I was thinking it was Parker. Parker's been on the radio with us a couple times. You know, let me see. I think I got him in here. It just says Parker, Parker Young Republicans, you know. But there is hope, especially when you see, you know, the Secretary of State, John DeBerry, came in, and those young people were pumped to hear John DeBerry, you know, and especially young African Americans that are listening to John. See, a lot of people don't know what happened to John. You know what happened to John, don't
I do.
You talk about nefarious, evil. It don't get no more evil than when you remove a guy that's pro-life. That's what I was telling at the pro-life event. A guy that marched with Dr. King. I can't make this stuff up. This is so beyond George Orwell. When you got a guy that marched with Dr. King, was at the mountaintop speech, seen the oppression, stood up for minorities. When he would speak at the General Assembly, I call him the E.F. Hutton. Remember the old E.F. Hutton?
Right,
you know, when he speaks, everybody listens. And I promise you, everybody listens. I mean, the interns, everybody in the audience, and they took him off the ballot.
I know that.
I didn't even know you could do that. Well, look what's happening to Trump. It's the same stuff that's going on, folks. And people need to wake up what's happening in their country. And it ain't in just San Francisco or New York, folks. This stuff's happening in our backyard. This First Amendment.
Important to stay aware.
Well, most people are asleep. The church is asleep. Pastors are asleep. And if somebody gets offended, good. I hope you do get offended, so you'll start speaking up. And I've got a good pastor, Brother Hazard. He's fire and brimstone, you know. But he's the real deal. I mean, when he was younger, he went through a battle of addiction, and I think he had DUI or two. Hope you don't mind me sharing on the radio. I think he wrecked his truck, wound up in a pond or a lake, and he said, man, he just come to the realization, man, I got to get it together. You know, sometimes it takes that in people's lives.
Now, was he the one that did your sister's funeral?
Yeah, I did do a good job.
Yeah, that's the first time I heard him. Yeah, he really did. Yeah. He was good.
You know, I don't know if you know, my sister passed away last week. Was it last week? Yeah, before Memorial Day. She'd been in nursing home for 6 years, you know. And it's just, have you lost a sibling or anything?
I've not lost my parents.
Yeah.
Not a sibling. My husband just lost a sibling, so.
Yeah, you know. And I you know, you want to say she's ready to go. I don't know if she's ready to go. But I'll tell you what really angers me when I think about it. That's what got me on music therapy. Roger's heard me talk about this. You know, what turned me on to music therapy? There's power in music. I was sharing that at the pro-life event, and I'm thinking, I bet they're wondering, why am I talking about music at a pro-life event? But I watched my sister, who had a brain tumor at 30, and then she had a bad fall about 6 years ago, and she's in a coma, and she's on life support for 6 weeks. I mean, life support. I don't know if you ever witnessed anybody on life support. Breathing tube, tracheotomy, all that. It was just really bad. And I had just said a prayer after 6 weeks. She on life support. And I said, Lord, if you're not going to heal my sister, you need to take her. And within 5 minutes, we got a phone call. Her eyes woke up, and she said a few words. And my wife found some pictures of her for the funeral the day. I'd go, you know, get her a little frost. She loved little frosties and stuff. And but she was at the nursing home trying to escape at the nursing home. And I shared this at the funeral. And I was amazed, because here she is. She can't walk. She had a brain injury. And but she knew the words to John Denver's Country Road, Take Me Home to the Place I Belong. And I tapped her on the shoulder. She didn't know who I was. And I was amazed, like, wow, how do you know words to a song, but you didn't know my name? And that's what got me thinking, can music be a tool for healing? Can music be a tool for third grade reading? Can music be a tool for trauma? And I'd have never talked this way until I witnessed it. And then I witnessed, you know, my mom singing Amazing Grace. Well, I was playing Amazing Grace in my mom's final hours, and it worked. It calmed her down, and it literally worked.
When this is over, I'll give you a name of a guest you ought to have who she does music therapy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you may want to have her on.
I didn't even know there was music therapist.
That's what she does, and I'll give you her name.
Well, even in committee when I was talking about this bill, I think it was last year, and I'm just trying to bring awareness. It's not that, you know, we're going to change the world with this, but it's another tool in the toolbox. And I'd made the comment that if you'd have told me 10 years ago I was talking about this, or the increased need for mental health, increased need for counselors, increased need for I've always been an advocate for mentors and the fatherless, but I never thought about those areas, because my generation, my dad would have said, get over it, suck it up, move on, you know. And I've told that when I took on the issue of childhood sexual trauma, and it's hard for people to move on. And one of the Democrats, he goes, why would you say that? Why would you say you wouldn't have talked about these things? I said, but until you start listening to people, and then you start hearing because most people battling addiction, I would argue, have had some type of trauma in their life, especially the females that's in prison. Most of them, 80%, I've heard somebody told me 90% of the females in prison been sexual abused when they were young, you know, and we never seem to want to address those issues. And our prison population's doubled. See, that's where the Republican Party's got to get more involved in those issues and have champions, because it's a conservative issue. When our prison budget's doubled, and that's $600 million. That's $600 million we couldn't use for, you know, roads and, you know, education and infrastructure and other areas to build schools, but we spend it on locking people up. Some people need to be locked up, but some people need help, you know. If Karen, on the Flag Day, tell us why this is important.
Oh, why Flag Day is important?
Yeah, why is it important?
Well, yeah, I think, of course, I was raised in a very patriotic family. My dad was a military.
Was your dad World War II?
Well, afterwards. He graduated West Point in 1945.
Oh, really?
And so he graduated right after the war had ended in Europe. So he ended up in Berlin in that, you know, when they just divided the city into the quadrants.
Yes.
He was in the American quadrant. But anyway, so we were you know, we're always raised that way. So the flag's important. Okay, so many places aren't pledging to the flag anymore.
Amen.
Some of the schools aren't. Just bring awareness to that, and the flag symbolizes it what it symbolizes. I mean,
yes. Well, we forgot that. They're trying to get rid of the flag, trying to get rid of the. Somebody told me they banned the thin blue line flag. Some county or city had. I mean, that's just this wokeness, man, that we got to push back against. Folks, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Most people know that their insurance can provide them with coverage for the many life's mishaps. But I can help you also unlock discounts, save money, and get benefits with Farmers Insurance policy perks. Whether we're discussing home or auto insurance, I am here to help you understand these great perks. Call me, Mark Lewis, at 615-625-7070 for a quote, and you can get a whole lot of something with Farmers policy perks.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Not available in every state. Only available with select Farmers branded policies underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate.
Dr. Automotive Auto Repair and Maintenance Mechanic Shop Garage provides car owners in Smyrna, Murfreesboro, Laverne, and the Middle Tennessee area with excellent auto repair services. Deep-rooted experience in serving both foreign and domestic automobiles allows for proper diagnosis in a timely manner. Check them out online at autorepairsmyrna.com, call them at 615-220-0971, or stop on in at 1205 Hazelwood Drive in Smyrna.
Hey, Middle Tennessee, it's Mark from the Safe House. And now the security riddle of the day. What's less secure than a fake safe from a big box or furniture store? Joe Biden's fake border policy, of course. But hey, there is good news. This time next year, Joe Biden will not be president. So drop by the Safe House and check out the largest selection of safes in the Southeast. Build a wall around your valuables with a safe from the Safe House. We have certified delivery crews to deliver and install your safe. Don't let a crackhead or illegal deliver your safe. With over 30 years in the safe business, the Safe House is the place to buy a safe in Tennessee. So go to NashvilleSafeHouse.com.
Hello and buenos dias. I'm Lisette Lopez, your bilingual real estate agent at Keller Williams Murfreesboro. I specialize in helping you make informed decisions that align with your goals. I'm offering free classes from how to fix your credit to investing to create generational wealth. Start your real estate journey with Lisette Lopez today. Call me at 954-552-4932. The number again is 954-552-4932. Or browse my website at lopezsellstn.kw.com. Thank you.
Hi, this is Allie Dowenhauer with Isaiah 117 House. Isaiah 117 House provides physical and emotional support for children awaiting foster care placement here in Rutherford County. We are changing the way foster care begins, and those kiddos are brought to our house to hang out and wait for a foster family, and they're given everything they need. We support foster children, DCS, and foster families here in Rutherford County. Visit us at www.isaiah117house.com or visit our Facebook page, Isaiah 117 House, Rutherford County.
Josh Moss with Affordable Heating and Cooling provides residential HVAC and duct cleaning services to the Middle Tennessee area. With more than 20 years of experience, Josh Moss and the AHC team provide 24/7 service and take care to ensure whatever work you need done is done in a professional, timely manner. Contact AHC at 615-745-1676. That's 615-745-1676. Or go to their website at affordableheatingandcoolingtn.com.
All right, we're back. Brother Magazine Show. I'm your host, Mike Sparks. I'm just talking about Flag Day with Karen Hudson, GOP. Now, are you the chairwoman?
No, I'm the president of the Republican Women of Rutherford
so you don't
County.
really have a chairperson.
They call it president.
Oh, okay.
So chair, whatever.
Did it go to your head when you got elected? You didn't
No.
Don't you know who I am?
No.
People do that. People do that.
No.
I promise you. You ever seen it happen? You give somebody like a chairmanship or give them a title, it's like they just change overnight.
No, I'm still
me.
I got a good team with me.
Egos is. We were on the Roger. I picked him up. Now it's funny. He goes, "You ain't forgot about me, are you?" And I think I did, to be honest. So I said, "Man, meet me at Chicken Pike," because he lives at Chicken Pike, and I didn't really think he's going to take me seriously. And I'm driving by, and he's on Chicken Pike.
Well, he's running late. I
thought,
I don't know if it's just a prank or if he looked up.
Well, my battery was dead on my car. I don't know what happened. So I was out there putting some grease on the cables and trying to jump it off, But no, I'll be honest with you. I was kidding you about letting it go to your head. But people let this stuff go to their head, man. They change. Not everybody. But I tell you, we had a good meeting this week. I wanted to get this. The Laverne Police Chief was on we were at the police department, done a tour of IC, and got talking to the chief. They had two young kids that was killed 2 weeks ago over there by Walmart, and a little beef, and that's why we want to talk about critical thinking skills. That's why we talk about the game of chess and reach these young people before they pull that trigger. Because here's what people don't realize is that somebody's got to pay to incarcerate that kid that pulled that trigger. That's about $500,000 because he's probably going to get, 15 years, 20 years? What if he got life? I mean, you know how much that costs? It's $35,000 to incarcerate somebody. If you're incarcerating a juvenile, they've talked about the cost up to $200,000 a year. And Karen, nobody's talking about it. And if they are talking about it, somebody tell me who it is, because I don't want to use the bad word I want to use, but I don't see it. And this is what kills me. Our prison budget's doubled, and it's going to end up quadrupling if we don't reach these young people. And the mental health, I hear it from teachers, that it's one reason teachers are kind of getting out of the field is because of the lack of accountability with these young people today. We were growing up, Mr. Rakes bust our tail with that paddle. Don Odom, and I think they need some accountability, but to just sit there and mass incarcerate, and that's why I really wish that we would get some people to step up. But the point I want to make with this police chief is I asked him, I said, because Laverne's had some problems, let's just face it, that's a whole nother issue. That $500,000 that girl got, if that doesn't make you sick and want to throw up, it does me. Maybe I'm the only one that wants willing to say it, but I like what this guy said. He said servant leadership, and he's from Milwaukee. He grew up Catholic. I grew up Catholic, and he was an altar boy, which my mom wanted to be an altar boy. I don't want to be no altar boy at St. Rose over here, but servant leadership. I was talking about encouraging these officers to really, like community policing, reach these young people and build relationships with them, and that's what our SROs are doing. But that's where I wish the GOP do a lot better job. And we talk about freedom, we talk about being conservative, and then I see people that don't practice it. Some people need to be locked up. Let's face it. But these young people that's growing up without a father, without a positive male role model, if all they see is the crime and hear it in the music and see this problems playing out, no wonder we got the problems. But shout out to that police chief. We had a great conversation because I asked him. I said, man, when you gonna drop that Milwaukee accent? He goes, huh? he said it's gonna be hard. I don't think I can. And but I was really impressed with this guy. Just Christopher, I think, is it? I probably can't pronounce it. Is it Mouse? Anyways, I
was want to wreck that other pronunciation. So
yeah.
Let me look at that one.
But anyways, don't be ranting. But we just got to do a better job in communicating, and the egos and the excessive pride. I mean, what is it? Today's Pride Day, Pride Month, Pride Year. That another thing makes me sick. All this excessive pride. And when I was growing up, pride come before a fall. It's like, and you can't speak out because they'll call you a racist. Somehow they tie that into racism. So we banned the American flag, but we put up all these other flags.
Well, I don't think we've banned the American flag.
No, but I'm saying there's people that's doing that.
Well, they're trying to, yeah. And that's why Flag Day is important. We got to stand up for it. I was going to say that my husband Roger and I we have a little package where we go to 10 Predators games.
Yeah.
And I noticed at the NHL games, it's heartwarming because when we do the anthem, everybody's standing.
Yep.
There's not anybody talking. They don't let anybody in. So if you're out in the concourse getting a Coke or something, they have you wait. They're very, very respectful. People have their hats off.
Yeah.
I just swell with pride and just gratitude at being able to witness that, because that. I think I'm going to start watching at other sports, but I've just noticed that's just complete silence. People are just very respectful. And then if we're playing a Canadian team, they're very respectful for the Canadian anthem to be sung. It's you were talking about music therapy and music. you listen to some of our patriotic songs, and they touch
like
your heart.
Like the old hymns.
They touch your heart.
You know, the old hymns. Those hymns had a meaning, like Amazing Grace. I mean,
it touches your heart.
Yeah, that was written by a slave ship captain. Very few people even know this. John Newton, a former slave ship captain, God turned his life around, and people don't realize that a former slave ship captain is who helped free the slaves in Great Britain. I was telling somebody this the other day. I said, I have a theory, and I haven't tried to dig deep to prove it. I think it was Dr. Brian Terry sharing this with. I said, because that slave ship captain, former slave ship captain, influenced a lawmaker. He had influence. He influenced a lawmaker, British William Wilberforce, who fought tirelessly with legislation to free the slaves. And I have this theory, and if somebody wants to help me do research, I'd appreciate it, is that maybe a former slave ship captain and a singer, because William Wilberforce, they said, could sing, that he would often sing in Parliament. Is that what led to freeing the slaves, where we lost 650,000 men? Young men, too, you know, right around here, you know, and, you know, we divided our country, you know, over slavery. And Great Britain freed 34 years before we did, you know. So there is power in music. But like people keep me about talking about Tupac, you know, the song Dear Mama. I mean, it's a sweet song, you know. My assistant, and he's African-American, my former assistant, and I was playing it one day in the office, and because he was kidding me, he said, "What? You don't know the Tupac songs? Name 3." I was like, "I just knew Dear Mama," and I was playing it. He had to shut the door. He's like, "Man, I get choked up every time I hear that." He's pretty close with his mom, but no, we got to get back to those basics. How do we do it though?
Well, I mean, I know it sounds very simple, but just some of the ways that we're doing it as a Republican is just calling attention to Friday, making people aware.
Yeah,
this is an important.
Are y'all doing any social media? Y'all doing any media campaigns or anything?
No, we've got email blasts out, and we've got it on our Facebook page.
So, have you reached out to Joshua?
His wife is in the club.
Okay,
so yes,
good. We'll get
she
them
knows.
to start spreading it too.
So
yeah, man, who is that guy? We were at Memorial Day service, Smyrna, and kudos Jeff Peach. They done an awesome job over, and Chief Bill Culberson. The guy that got up there
that spoke to
the
airman. Yeah, he stole the crowd
Colonel,
there, didn't
oh
he?
my gosh!
And we thought he was reading all that. He wasn't reading any of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Jeff Peach told me that same thing. He thought that he was actually, and he wasn't. He knew all that.
Oh man, you need to have that guy.
Yeah.
Can you find out who that was?
Yeah.
That you need to have that guy, and just it'll take what? Was it 4 minutes? 5 minutes?
His speech, yeah, probably 5 or 6.
It's a poem about the flag.
Oh, yeah. I think is it the one about? Because I heard one. I was at a Flag Day luncheon up in Sparta yesterday, with DAR, and there was a man that came and read, and it had music with it too. He plays his guitar with it, but it was something
like
about
this old flag,
like at the courthouse. This old flag, and he kind of goes through all the conflicts. Like he goes through.
I don't know. Is that you think that's? I don't think it's the same one though, is it?
But
Johnny Cash does that rendition, right?
Yes.
But
yeah, that was the one I heard.
Okay.
But he did go through the different, conflicts.
I wonder if it's
I mean, the guy. So it's similar anyway. If it's not.
I'll tell you another one that's really good. And you could go look at this on YouTube or something. It's Red Skelton talking about the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh
yeah.
Very, very powerful.
Well, a lot of people don't even know who that is. Do you know who it is?
I remember. Yes, comedian. Yeah.
My parents who used to watch it. I remember the Red Skelton show, but he does a great. And of course, when he's doing it, we only had 48 states, so that's how old this clip is.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but watch it. It's really good.
Yeah.
I had a young lady on the radio, Emily Lopez, and Benjamin Johnson. And one thing, and I kind of want to start getting into that on the show, like strange coincidences. I call them God wink moments. And I know some people may not believe, but even Dr. Carl Jung talked about synchronicity. They were positive, extremely positive. There were coincidences, but they had a positive meaning, But I was at Smyrna High commencement, and at the very, and I heard it towards the end. A young man, you're watching a crowd, and everybody's very respectful. You hear a few people yelling and screaming for their the graduates, and I'm sure that some people are just thrilled that their child graduated, but it all. I went to 5 commencements, and everybody was very respectful. MTSU as well, Stewart's Creek, Laverne, Smyrna High, and it's a big day, to graduating there. and Benjamin Joshua Johnson, he gets up, young African-American young man, and he says, I guess he got in trouble his freshman year. And he started talking about redemption, and Smyrna West, it done him some good. And I want to say what he did, but he may not want me to share it. To me, I'm not making light of it, but you can look back and laugh. I would have never done that, but we never thought that way when I was in school. But anyways, what he done, he was trying to do a prank at school. And they don't play around any kind of threats, put it that way. And but he turned his life around, and he's salutatorian, got a full ride scholarship to Rice University. Mm-hmm. I've even put the little speech on Facebook the other day, edited it up. He come to my Rotary Club. But speaking of coincidences, I've been saying the First Amendment's under attack. Been saying it for 8 years. I've had Dr. Larry Burris from TSU that teaches free expression. I've had his class, and had his media law class. He was a colonel at the Pentagon. Larry Burris, just a great guy. And he gets up, or he came. I said, man, won't you come to Rotary with me? In fact, I took a picture with Francis Rosales and Tammy Sharp and Dr. Is it Kay Martin, the assistant school superintendent? And so I grabbed a picture with them, and I said, come to my Rotary Club, and come on the radio show. Well, he says, do you mind if my mom and dad come? I was like, no, they want to come. I was like, okay. Well, his dad was the minister at the black church that was locked out by government for 2 years. People don't even know what's happening in your own backyard. A black church was locked out by government. NAACP didn't come to rescue. ACLU didn't come to rescue. Finally, I got a reporter do a story. What was her name? I don't know if it's C.B. Cotton. C.B. Cotton may have been the one that covered Jefferson Pike for me. But if you go to YouTube, type in Laverne Word of Life, it's really happened. And that the church kind of dissolved in a way, but the pastor, he came, and his mom started a Kiwanis Club. And then Emily, this was coincidental. I call them God Week moments. She gets up at the end of Smyrna High commencement address, starts quoting scripture. And I mean, I was like kind of stunned. I wasn't expecting this, and everybody clapped for her. And it was like just a real quick verse and putting the Lord in your life. And I was like, whoa, there's hope for this next generation. So Benjamin got her to come up on the station with us. And then she called in, I think she was on twice from me. She was on with me.
Yes.
Thursday before last.
Morning, yeah.
Yeah. And so I said, you want to go to Rotary with me? She was like, okay. I want her to give her a little talk at Rotary. And Benjamin did the same thing. So we're out here in the, sidewalk, and I told her, she's up Thursday. I said, there's a reason you and I met. There's a reason, And so she's like, okay, I'll meet you at Rotary. Well, Dr. McPhee's there, and she decided to go to MTSU, I think.
Yeah, she did.
That day.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And she's going to go to school for nursing. And so McPhee happens to be in the room next door with their Blitz,
Mason, Coach
Blitz.
Mason was there.
Derek Mason.
Yeah.
So I got I took a picture of them too, and there, and said, hey, got to meet the mayor. Mayor Reed was there. And then she gave her a little speech at Rotary. And I was telling Ben, I said, Ben, that's the best speech we've had at Rotary in years.
Yeah,
and her speech too.
Yeah, Dr. Terry, when she was saying when she's undecided and she mentioned nurse, he was going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen him.
Well, we need some nurses and teachers as well. But no, there is hope in the next generation. I was at TSU college about 4 or 5 years ago. My friend Sherry Jackson had graduated, and then Dr. Harold Love was getting a doctorate degree. And that was during all the time people kneeling and all the protests. And I thought, what was going to happen here? I wonder if anybody going to kneel. And nobody kneeled at TSU. So hats off TSU and Dr. Love and Sherry Jackson. And nobody kneeled. So I thought, this is really kind of some irony, but I appreciated it. Everybody's very respectful. Now, as far as growing the party and reaching the young people, what else do y'all partner, I guess, with the Young Republicans?
We've talked to them, and we're going to try to have an event with them at some point. Right now we're really working on possibly setting up a voter registration, maybe at the farmers market. We have a committee that's working on that with our club. Yeah. But it was, I just love it that our last 3 meetings, April, May, and June. So April was Josh Rosales.
Okay.
So it was Latinos for Tennessee.
Yeah.
May was Stevie Giorno from the Young Republicans state chair of the state young Republicans. And then June, we're going to have the young lady from Hillsdale College. So we're really, spent, that's a third of, or 25% of our year focusing on those and how to reach out and what we can do and partnering with them. So,
have you met the little girl, Hannah Faulkner? Do you know her?
I do not.
With that Turning Point USA?
I know Turning Point USA.
I think she was at the event with that Riley Gaines was in last year. Mm-hmm. Did you make it over at the fountains?
No.
Okay, because they were talking about Riley is the one the swimmer.
Right.
And she was sharing that story where that what was the guy what was his name, Leah something?
Oh, that she swam against. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy, and she was giving this story about that in the locker room that the girls are all talking, they're changing, and she said all of a sudden it gets quiet, and that guy is buck naked or butt naked? Is it butt? B-U-T-T? Anyways, butt naked, whatever it was, standing right beside her. Man, if that would have been my daughter, I'm going to tell you what, that dude wouldn't have been walking out of there. Or my dad, if that would have been my sister playing ball and that happened to my sister, my dad been going to jail. He'd have hurt somebody. That makes you sick. I mean, that's where we're at today.
Well, kudos to her for speaking up.
Oh, that girl's on fire, man. And Hannah, she's going to be the next. Oh man, I mean, she's already at Riley Gaines level as far as her ability, and she's just 16 years old. Wow. But she may be 17 now. But I had her come on the radio, and I said, "I'll meet you up there." And she goes, "I can't get a ride." I'm like, what? I don't have a driver's license.
Meet her on Chicken Pike.
Yeah, I didn't know. I was like, I didn't know she didn't have. I didn't realize she was that young, But it does give you hope for this next generation coming up,
And we have a couple of members in our club that are willing to pay the dues. Our dues are only $35 a year. But they're willing to pay them for we've got about 10
like scholarships.
Yeah, that they would pay for them to be a member this year. So
yes, for the young Republicans.
Yeah, for the young women. So hopefully, we've let Dre know that, and spreading the word.
Yeah, we had last time I missed y'all's event. If you remember, it was a few months ago.
Yeah, what did we do? I remember.
You were over the carriage house. Or
yeah, and I'm trying to. Was it our Christmas event with Dr. Swain?
He misses a lot of events.
Well, here what it was. I seen this group called Moms Over Murder.
Yeah, and I think it was the Christmas event.
Well, what it was, Moms Over Murder. It's women who have lost their kids to violence, and they're predominantly African American. I think her name's Clementine or Clemmy. She's a pistol now. I promise you. And it's over at the United Methodist Church over on Siegel, and So I thought, well, I'll try to make it to your event, and I'll slip out and I'll go to their event and try to make both. I was already running late, so I went to Moms Over Murder, and boy, you talk about something that'll bring you to tears. I'm hearing all these mothers talk about their son was either sold drug, got killed, or they overdosed, and boy, I text my wife. I was like, hey, I mean, this is a tearjerker. So I was with them. The detective was there, and the detective, big backlog of prosecutions on them. And they even know who the mothers are like, we know so-and-so done it, but the court system is lagging, and an autopsy. So I know Mayor Carr's and the county commission is pushing to try to get this autopsy forensic center in. And but that was one of the reasons they were citing was lack of prosecution was some of the autopsy backlog. But and they were sweet ladies. They come up to the Capitol, and they were talking about my chest Rob Mitchell, the chest legislation. They said, thank you. They didn't know that was my bill. And they were like, well, really appreciate this. This is good stuff, and it could really help these kids and get them to think. And but, boy, when you hear mothers talk about losing a 13-year-old or 16-year-old, man, it's heartbreaking. And sadly, we're going to see more of it, But Clemmy, she's a pistol, man. But we need to do more to reach. I think there's just a disconnect sometimes.
Yeah, we're working on it. So
and I'm not trying to be critical.
No, I know that.
If no one's talking about it,
you have to first. You got to identify the issue, work on it, and take steps to do it. And I think what's great is because we've been such an active group, we've got our members are talking about it in the community, and that's the best. One-on-one.
Well, I'm gonna tell you one thing. I will say, Austin's got a heart.
Oh, yeah.
He's got. We were out here at the parking lot a couple years ago talking, and he was really saying the things I'm saying. So, there's other people that do seem to care. In Austin, he stays so busy, and I know Claire's got a heart for kids. But when people serve on boards, you need people that are passionate. It's like this guy. He's Sam Davis Home. He's passionate and about Sam Davis Home, and why do you care about this stuff, Roger?
Oh, I mean, keep it going, history and all that, But I'm also, I'm on that historical zoning commission down in Smyrna.
Yep.
And it just, just keeping it going. It's like you said, though, the generation now, I don't. It wasn't like when we were young, especially me. I know I'm a lot older than both of y'all, and but nobody in my family ever got any kind of trouble ever.
No trouble.
No,
oh,
ever.
Really?
Cop trouble or anything? Because my dad and mom are both there.
Yeah.
That means a lot.
I think there's
right
more
there,
things today to get you in trouble, though.
Yeah, but that, don't you get?
Yeah, but you've smoked marijuana when you were a minor, didn't you?
But I didn't get caught, so I didn't get in trouble.
I've seen a video. Sorry about
it. Wasn't me
Roger.
smoking it, was it?
I've seen a video. You see these little Facebook reels, and it's like an old movie, like out of the '70s, and this woman. I almost shared it on Facebook, and I better not. And I don't know if it's like a Christian film, and she's like Miss who was the one on Brady Bunch? What was her name?
Oh,
Brady Bunch lady.
He thinks I'm supposed to know these old trivias.
Like real
Carol Brady.
Carol Brady, like really serious. And she goes, and she said something like, "I've smoked marijuana," and you just see the guy looks like, "Oh my God!" It's just funny the whole clip, and it's over the top, and but I mean, I'm not making light. I don't smoke pot, just for the record. I don't even drink, but
have you ever?
No, a long time ago. Okay. I didn't inhale. They asked me on Channel 5 one day. I was debating a Democrat about medical marijuana, and I was the opposite, like no. And then it was what was her name? Sherry Jones. Me and Sherry's got along, and I was like, I hope nobody calls in the show. And somebody called, and my mother was watching. What has lawmaker people smoke marijuana? I was like, oh man. I was like, well, I never did inhale, and we just the guy started laughing. I think at Ben Hall, we moved on to a commercial break. Speaking of commercial breaks, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Most people know that their insurance can provide them with coverage for the many life's mishaps. But I can help you also unlock discounts, save money, and get benefits with Farmers Insurance policy perks. Whether we're discussing home or auto insurance, I am here to help you understand these great perks. Call me, Mark Lewis, at 615-625-7070 for a quote, and you can get a whole lot of something with Farmers policy perks.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Not available in every state. Only available select Farmers branded policies underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliates.
AFFI is Middle Tennessee's premier choice for pest, wildlife, and moisture control. They specialize in those difficult and unique cases. You can reach them by phone at 615-300-2395. That's 615-300-2395. Or stop in at 200 Glenrose Lane in Smyrna.
My wife and I enjoy going by Yard Sale Inc. We usually go to both locations, the one in Smyrna as well as the one in Murfreesboro. A lot of times on Saturday mornings we stop by, and their inventory changes weekly, so you never know what you're going to see, and it's mostly open box. The name fits it. It's exactly that. It's a yard sale. If you don't totally agree with the price, the staff is always friendly and nice and willing to work with you.
That's the Yard Sale store in Smyrna at 111 Enon Springs Road West, in Murfreesboro at 204 South Front Street, and online at bestdealintown.com.
Hello and buenos dias. I'm Lisette Lopez, your bilingual real estate agent at Keller Williams Murfreesboro. I specialize in helping you make informed decisions that align with your goals. I'm offering free classes from how to fix your credit to investing to create generational wealth. Start your real estate journey with Lisette Lopez today. Call me at 954-552-4932. The number again is 954-552-4932. Or browse my website at lopezsellstn.kw.com. Thank you.
Josh Moss with Affordable Heating and Cooling provides residential HVAC and duct cleaning services to the Middle Tennessee area. With more than 20 years of experience, Josh Moss and the AHC team provide 24/7 service and take care to ensure whatever work you need done is done in a professional, timely manner. Contact AHC at 615-745-1676. That's 615-745-1676. Or go to their website at affordableheatingandcoolingtn.com.
All right, we're back. I want to share a little part. We had my Sunday school lesson this morning. My teacher's Jeff Peach's father, Dick Peach. His wife fell last week, broke her hip. She's at Hickory Woods Nursing Home. So prayers to the Peach family, Cecilia. But our Sunday school lesson, in fact, I put it on Facebook. Been trying to put these lessons on there. God's promise. And it was talking about the covenant, Abrahamic covenant, and that sort of thing, and the rainbow, and so I was telling them, we've had all this discussion the past, since the Covenant school shooting. But did you hear that story about the rainbow that was at the school, like a double rainbow over the Covenant school?
I think I did. I don't remember it.
Really?
I remember hearing about it.
I just thought I just brought it up. It's talking about strange coincidences, and even though there's hardship out there in the world, there's
good.
There is good.
There's good.
And it's easy for me because I'm around a lot of chaos and negativity, and but yeah, there's supposed to have been, it was a rainbow. Look, you can see the picture. You Google it, rainbow arches over the Covenant School. It was during the first church service since the mass shooting. It's a double rainbow, and that's factual. You see it, but God, that promise, and sometimes we forget that. Even through tragedy, we often see blessings, and but it's easy for me to get down because people call me when they got problems, and people overdose, or I had to do a funeral a couple months ago, and and people passing away, and I'm seeing more deaths and chaos and all, but it's good to hear. That's a neat story if folks want to look it up. That Covenant rainbow over the school, and it was a Covenant school. That was kind of coincidental, but Roger, we want to get tell us, audience, about your Aunt Dot.
Oh yeah, Aunt Dot is Dorothy Comer. She's as far as we know, the oldest person from the old Jefferson community. And Mike, you pointed this out earlier today, and people don't realize that Sam Davis' home, this Davis's, that used to be part of Old Jefferson up till about 1868. They don't realize
before
that.
Smyrna.
Right, it was before Smyrna. But anyway, she just texted me here a little bit ago. She's probably wondering what I was doing. I said, "You going to listen to us tonight?" But anyway, I think here in a few weeks we're going to do a show with my aunt, and we're going to, get people, I guess through Facebook, whatever, send in some questions, and we're going to, give them to her, and she's going to answer them best she can. Different
so you
things.
think she's part of the longest living
I think
resident from Old Jefferson?
As far as we
community.
know, she is. She's, like I said, is the oldest one that's from there right now. My mom was born there.
Yeah.
And
you remember all that?
Yeah. I'm not that old, but I remember. Yeah, I used to go to school there and all that stuff. And but anyway, it should be really fun. You did that small interview the other day.
Yeah, I've got her on. I've videoed. I'm going to edit it up. It just takes a while to edit things like that.
Sometimes I told Mike how she'll refer, like Mike had lived there. She'll say something. Well, you know where so-and-so house was. I do, but he wouldn't.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to kind of polish that stuff up.
Karen, are you familiar with Old Jefferson community?
I'm not.
Tell. I think most people know, but go ahead.
It was actually the county seat for, Rutherford County from 1804 to 1811. And it was a big logging place. They would send, they had the piers there and all that. That was a big place. It's like a junction. Mike went there. You saw it.
East Fork,
we actually
West
did
Fork,
a tour.
Stones River come together.
We had, I think, 80 people there.
Yeah.
That came. And it's like a T. But anyway, that was the big place back in the day. Had a toll gate. The old house my mom and them lived in was the old toll gate house. And there was also a plantation out there, which was my great
plantations, wasn't it?
Yeah, great grandparents. It was out there in Old Jefferson. That's where they're all from.
Well, what's cool, and this is what I wish. I think I've shared this with Austin or somebody at the GOP, you know, the first African American lawmaker came from there, and he was a Republican. I said, you need to have Samson Keebles. You know how we got the pictures up there of like
you
with me and other people. Okay, anyways, I think it'd be neat to just kind of do some type of a Samson Keeble day, or because nobody knows this stuff. Yeah, and the old Jefferson,
you saw
like
the
I said,
steps.
Before. Well, do we want to talk about that on the air? Because that we want to keep at it. Yeah, well, we found an artifact, put it that way, and we don't really know what to do. We got to get the Corps of Engineer to give us permission. We found an artifact. We can't talk about what it is, man. Yeah. Somebody will have to go out there and get it. Yeah. But we were in an area, and the GPS told me where I was at.
He was lost.
I was lost. We were. But there's so much history out there that people just don't even know. And I've got Ernie Johns, the county historian, before he passed. I've got him and Toby Francis, another historian on the radio. If you've done YouTube, type in Old Jefferson, Ernie Johns, you'll see some of the shows that we videoed. And they took their farms. I mean, it's really sad.
Yeah, that's why we moved out. Yeah, that's the exact same reason my granddad had that 320 acres there.
Just forced you off your land.
Yeah, and so that's what moved us to Smyrna in 1966.
Yeah, it's really is but you know, it was flood control and everything else. But what's sad is they didn't even the property is still there. It didn't even affect.
Didn't even touch it. They miscalculated, and they for no reason they tore it all out. Yeah. All these homes and people's lives for no reason.
That's federal government, not state government. Yeah. Just clarify, you know.
Yeah.
But it's isn't it a beautiful area?
It is.
The picnic tables and stuff are still there from what y'all call that?
Oh, the East Fork rec area over there? Yes.
East Fork.
But they closed it down years ago.
You hung out there a lot.
No.
Why'd they close it down?
That was your old hangout.
Why'd they close it down?
Oh, you see, wasn't good access to it.
Huh? Is there some other reasons that you don't want to share on the air?
That would be your...
maybe Scott Broden, if Scott Broden's listening to News Show, he could cover it. Anyways, it's kind of got a dark past.
But there's some actually rock at this old... what do they call it, the old canopy, wherever they had picnics in the shelter. That came from the chimneys from my granddad's house.
Now, did that burn? Somebody told me that burned.
Yeah, but the rocks are still standing.
Well, I mean, it's the whole rest area is still there.
They had restrooms and everything, like a little ghost town rest area.
It is. It's just amazing.
Weird, but
yeah.
But right up the road there's where I grew up. You know, like I said.
You think it's haunted?
I don't know. It could
well,
be.
We ain't got enough time to get into hauntings, but Sam Davis' home is haunted, isn't it haunted?
Well, I've heard my name called out a couple times. That's what you
want
to hear.
What was you smoking? Was you smoking that Mary Jane that day?
Afterwards.
Oh, afterwards. It was afterwards. No, he heard some girl said his name.
Yeah, and the lady on the other crew heard my name called out, verified it.
Is that not wild?
I know.
You believe in ghosts, Karen?
No.
You don't?
I really don't.
Hey, he really heard it, seriously. And Marty Luffman, you know, one of our historians, he's seen a ghost out there.
Did Jeremy see something on the golf course?
Yeah, Jeremy,
which bumps up to it. So
yeah,
I'm not alone in this.
He promised he's. I seen the guy. It was at the grave. He said he pulled up his lawnmower. He's going to tell the guy, "Hey, look, you're not supposed to be out on a golf course." And he said, "It's gone."
I try to debunk everything that happens out there. 99.9%.
Well, they said that the radio will play the old. What they call them old radios? Like they would play. The old.
The old.
They would hear the music, and there's nothing playing.
We do have one of those. I'll show you.
It's a phonograph.
Yes. Yeah, it's called something else. It's got the little holes cut in it. We got one there. I'll show it to you when you come back out there.
Yeah.
But let me. Can I get a couple announcements in real quick? I'm not sure on our time. But the bluegrass guys, Paul Lamb and Tommy Francis, are going to be out June the 19th from 2 to 4. It's going to be a bluegrass jamming. If you want to come out and watch, if you want to bring an instrument.
What day again?
It's Wednesday, June the 19th from 2 to 4. They do that once a month, and it's really good, man.
Who else? Derek Rayburn plays.
Yeah, several different ones. They could have 15 people out there. But anyway, it's free. You come out and listen to a little bluegrass. And Walter Hill's having their 100-year celebration August 10th from 11 to 1 at the Walter Hill Elementary. And I went to Walter Hill one year.
You did?
Yeah, I went there in 1961, first grade. Then I went to Old Jefferson there. My dad was a Walter Hill guy, 12-year man. My mom was an Old Jefferson, so I guess she went out because I finished out at Old Jefferson. 2 rooms in a class.
Wow. The old Jefferson, man.
Yeah, the old Jefferson, Then our Heritage Days at Sam Davis home is going to be Friday, September the 6th from 9 to 1. And give a shout out to our director. She just had surgery Wednesday, and she's going to be out a couple weeks. And Carol Smith, she, the lady I work with, I filled in for yesterday. She had to go to the hospital, still in there.
Really?
Diabetic. She just got back from a 10-day vacation.
Yeah.
And,
well, I want to thank you. My wife's been suffering from allergies, something terrible, bad. I mean, really bad. And I said, we need to get that Sam Davis home honey. They've got, I guess, the hives out there.
3 hives of honey that.
And he brought me over. Someone dropped it off at the business the other day. So, wife's trying to. You say you can't use a metal spoon.
Yeah, you don't use a metal spoon. You use a wood. But what I do, I just give a squirt.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. That's so redneck.
Is that an old wives' tale that you got to use a wooden spoon?
Well, no, I have a lot of these people that
beekeepers,
that kind of stuff.
Well, Jenny's in the beekeepers.
She's on the board, state of Tennessee beekeepers. Yes.
Yeah.
Our director is.
I mean, honey is fascinating. You see that little video I made the other day?
Yeah. Yeah. You did good on that.
You like that?
You're getting better. You're getting better.
Made a little video about Sam Davis home and had some bee noises in the background.
Not cicadas.
Had Mike running late, and
running late all the time. But if folks haven't been to Sam Davis home, you need to go over there. And then you want to share that story about that weird story you had of the day.
Oh, about the cow?
The cow.
Oh, man, I was leaving Friday afternoon. I looked over in the field, and I thought I saw a black dog over way at the line, right at the field line. And anyway, a guy came by and said, I'm looking for a cow. And I said, what color is it? He said, black. I said, I saw it. Been missing for 8 weeks.
So if anybody sees a cow, run
call
it
Sam
down
Davis home.
Stewart
If you see
Creek.
the cow, don't run it down.
Don't try to track it down. Anyways, thank y'all. We'll see y'all next week.